is Haku a guy or a girl?
Oh god.
Guy. He's a guy. Yeah, it was. It's a guy.
Honestly. Sounds like a girl.
Haku was voiced by a woman. Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, this was a long time ago, Haku was a girl who became a boy, right?
No.
No.
He was a boy.
Looks like a girl.
He's a boy who looks like a girl.
And sounds like a girl.
My friends think it has its own gender. It's like girl, boy, Haku.
I'm okay with that answer. So maybe Orochimaru's a Haku.
So let's go with Butter and Phoenix. Because you've got a Phoenix shirt on.
Alright then, let's see. Will you give us a little insight?
This person here is bugging me. His head keeps getting in the
Any
way.
future titles that you're working on currently? Titles sort of going on right now. Yes, is also going on.
I don't know.
The new
going
Afro
along.
Samurai. Yes!
Samurai.
Both the new movie and the game both come out next week on the 27th, I think. And it's, I hear both of them are just going to be good. And I hear the game is going to be one of the best games ever. Besides that, there's a game, I don't know when it's going to come out exactly, but it's sort of like a GTA Saints Row style game, but played for comedy as opposed to violence, called This Is Vegas. It takes place in Las Vegas, and if working on it has been any indication as to how good a game it's going to be, it's going to be good. I don't recommend it at this point. And you can watch, I'm going to be on an episode of Batman Brave and the Bold coming up, and there's going to be more of Ben 10.
Yeah, I just did the video game Steven versus MK.
Wonder Woman!
Woo! Yeah, Wonder Woman rock.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because there's several titles that I'm working on right now, but I don't think they've been announced yet. So that's always a little awkward.
Right.
I'm not allowed to say anything.
Starts with the letter.
Not usually getting the alphabet. Sort of in the middle of the alphabet. Kind of, you know, somewhere like that. Yeah, I've got a few titles that I'm working on, but I can't really talk about them.
Yeah, actually one of them is very, very cool.
I might do.
But they're really, really strict about people talking.
Perhaps from like a big, scary creature.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be on an episode of Sarah Connor Chronicles, but I can't tell you what it is or what.
Aww.
Somebody blow some stuff up on that episode.
Let's go on to the next question.
Anything else that we can talk about?
Sorry, mine's like right against yours.
I know.
What do you think stuff like this about Sasuke joining Orochimaru? Sakura?
What I think Sakura thinks about Sasuke joining Orochimaru, I think she's even more heartbroken than she was before. I would say because Orochimaru has a smaller forehead than you do.
Try to what? I'm trying.
I'm gonna watch it again tonight, please.
Why did you do that to me?
See?
That's what she really
White lab coat.
That one. Quite honestly, how different was it to be Sasuke and then be Gino from Afro Samurai? Because to me, there's just no comparison.
Yeah, you know, there is very little. I mean, that's a tough one, and of course the best line that I had in that was me as Gino saying, "You killed Sasuke!" We produced it the same. It was produced at the same place that we recorded Afro Samurai. The guy who was directing me was the same guy, and we had a huge laugh over that. They're two. It's funny. Gino starts out in a place that's much more carefree than Sasuke. He's much more nurturing. He wants to take care of everybody. But then ends up in a very twisted, awful, painful, devastated, betrayed place, which is a very similar place that Sasuke comes from. And in both ways, Afro, in essence, killed Gino's entire family. And whereas, the same kind of hatred that Sasuke is full of is because Itachi killed his entire family.
He's just a revengeful guy.
So there are similarities, but also it was being a totally different show and a totally different background for Gino. They're different too, but man, I love playing those guys. I do. And Kuma does come up in the new Afro movie.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
Okay.
Blue hair.
Can viewers like this, or whoever does the interviewing and stuff, waiting for the casting assignment? Is it an epic series?
The question was a Gurren Lagann question. Thanks for this, man, by the way. It was a Gurren Lagann question as to me being cast as Simon was kind of complicated because they had to audition me at the very beginning for both versions of Simon, because if you watch the show, there's young Simon, and then he goes through a lot, and then so by the end of sort of that first arc, he's once again older, totally different, and then there's a time jump, and he's much older, he's much older, and he's gone through more change. So they actually, usually in an audition, they'll just audition you with 1 or 2 scenes. The way the character is, the audition was much longer because they had to audition me at those different levels to make sure that I would be okay both as the younger person and as the older person. So it was a little more complicated than normal. But I would like to thank Hiroe, who works for Aniplex, who used to work for Genion. It was sort of the show was her baby as a producer. And she remembered me from Kyokara Mao because that was the show we did back in the day together. And she said, "You got to get Yuri in here, I think you can do it." And so she stood up for me, and I got it, and it's an awesome show.
Could we get a "Who the hell do you think I am"?
Yeah.
Yes! Yes! We're doing it! Yes!